plank is painted 1/2 red and 1/3 green. The rest is painted yellow. What fraction is painted red and green? I'm going to take my piece of paper here and I'm going to fold it in half so that I can shade in 1/2 red. I'm going to trace my line here for my fold and then shade in. Right. And then it says that 1/3 is green. It's saying 1/3 of the whole plank. So I'm going to fold my paper into thirds so I can figure out what 1/3 is, so I can shade that in green. And again, I'm going to trace my lines here. And I'm going to shade in 1/3 green. I'm going to shade in this side since it has no red on it, since it didn't say it was red and green on the same part of the plank. Alrighty, so then it says the rest is painted yellow. Alrighty, and if I'm looking at my paper, I see that I have 1/3 here, 1/3 here, and another third here. And this third here is split into 2 pieces, which tells me that my yellow is equivalent to 1/6. Because if I take a third and I split it in half, and if I do the same for my other thirds, then I have 6 pieces of my plank all together. So I have 1/2 that's red, and 1/2 is the same as 1, 2, 3, 6. And I have 1/3 that is green, and that's the same as 2/6. So when I add all of my 6 together, that gives me 6, 6, or 1 whole. So now I need to figure out how much is red and green. So that's doing 1/2 plus 1/3. We already figured out our equivalent fractions since I can't add these fractions as they are because they don't have the same denominator or an equivalent common denominator. So we figured out that 6 would be a good denominator for us to use. So I'm going to put my equivalent fractions here at the bottom. Remember, equivalent fractions have the same value. So 1/3 has the same value as 2/6. So now I can have my common denominator. I can add my fractions straight across and keep my denominator. So that gives me 5/6. Go ahead and try this guided practice problem. Pause the video and then unpause it to check. So I first estimated with my benchmark fractions. So I drew 1/2 and 2/5, and I put them on a number line to show that they are both between 0 and 1 whole since I don't have a full fraction here. And 1/2 is obviously it's the same as 1/2 on my benchmark, so that is going to be my estimated benchmark here. And then 2/5 is very close to 1/2, so I'm going to use 1/2 here to estimate that as well. And 1/2 plus 1/2 equals 1 whole. So my estimated answer using my benchmarks is 1 whole. So when I do the actual, I should get an answer that's close to 1 whole. And when I was looking for my equivalent fractions, I did it with a sketch and I used my multiples to help me. So as a sketch, I figured out 1/2 is equal to 5/10 and 2/5 is equal to 4/10 because I need a common denominator, and 10 was one that I knew would be a multiple of both of those numbers, 2 and 5, and 5/10 and 4/10 more is 9/10. If I were to use the multiples and not sketch, I would write my multiples of 1/2. So when I find 2/4, that is the same as saying I'm multiplying using the power of 1, 1/2 times 2/2. When I found 3/6, I was multiplying by 3/3, 4/4, and then 5/5. And that got me to 10. And my common denominator, I found out when I multiplied 2/5 by 2/2, got me 4/10. So then I added those together and I got 9/10, which is very close to 1